46%. Now that's housing and urban development. That's HUD. That's the big guys. Now overall in that same report they said homelessness only increased 9% overall around the country. But that demographic of family homelessness increased 56%. So now it's 2010. In fact, it's actually July 24th, 2010. What do you think? What do you think the residual effects of this increased family homelessness? How would you solve it? I mean, homelessness really, it affects all of us. I mean, you might be the richest person and, you know, you have a penthouse up in your urban thing and you fly to France to vacation and you know what? It's still your tax dollars paying to keep that chronic homeless person out on the street. In Denver, I'm on my way to Denver to hang out with homeless services who are having a great impact in Denver. In Denver, to keep a homeless person, a chronic homeless person out on the streets is $40,000. That's, you know, every time they, it's expensive because of EMTs and emergency and, you know, police and in and out of shelters. And to house them, to rapid house them is $14,000. That's a savings of $26,000. Now, it's different in every community, but the savings of life and money is the same in every community. So even if you're not the most compassionate person, housing chronic homeless people, the Housing First model, as long as it's attached with case management, housing the chronic homeless person saves money. Now on the other side of the coin, the compassion, we should be doing it anyways. We should. Now you have this person, you know, point blank honest. We say, oh my gosh, the guy's going to buy a beer. Well, you know, the soccer mom's tipping the bottle. Your lawyer's probably hitting the pipe. Your brother-in-law's drinking a case a day. It doesn't matter. The homeless guy, he's crapping outside behind a McDonald's dumpster. Let him have a beer. And please, I'm not promoting alcoholism. And I'm not promoting drug use. Let's put it in perspective. The guy, you know, when you're living in a park homeless, it's nearly impossible to stay sober. That's why we need to give people dignity. It's not just housing alone that's going to solve it. We need to give them dignity. And once that you have a roof over your head and a bathroom and you're not crapping outside and a shower, we're finding that people say, you know, that, you know, drug treatment facility you were talking about for last year when I was living in a park, well, I want to go now. The other stereotype, you know, we say, oh my gosh, that homeless person, he lied. He said he needed food and he ran in and bought a beer. So, you know, they're dishonest. What I have to say to that is, you ever hear of Enron? There's dishonest people in all walks of life. Enron and, you know, these other, you know, people that have done all these, you know, Ponzi schemes and all these other different things. I'm really tired, so I don't know where even Ponzi scheme came from. But, you know, they've ripped off far more people and hurt far more people than all the homeless out there combined. So let's put it in perspective. Now, on top of that, this person's surviving. I mean, you know, the guys out there that are ripping people off for their retirement money and all that, they're not in survival mode. They're living high on the hog. The other thing is, oh, they want to be homeless. homeless. They're lazy. You ever see a homeless person push a cart full of recycling? It's a lot of work. The other thing, and I've traveled the country, and I've met thousands of homeless people, all the way from Alaska to Florida. And I've yet to meet, well, I have to, there's a guy outside of, the park across the street from the White House, Elijah Nature Boy. I do believe that he actually wants to be homeless. But the majority of people, I would say everybody else, they'll say they want to be homeless, but this is what happens. You're out on the streets, and, you've got to raise money, bus fare, you got to panhandle to get to where, there's some help, a shelter, what we call the continuum of care. So you hear there's help someplace. So you go there, and this homeless service organization, they get paid by the bean. It's bean counters. So they've got to get your data and get it into a computer. Otherwise, they don't get the grant money. So you sit there all day. It's like sitting in a doctor's office and the nurse never comes to get you. So you sit there all day. And you finally see a case manager, you get your data in, and then you get put on a waiting list. Or they tell, sorry, we can't help you. We specialize in this kind of a person. So now you've wasted a whole day. And if you're lucky, you'll get bus tokens to get back to the park. And then just to do it all over again. And we call this the continuum of care. The ideal is that we'll set up all these different organizations because, there's a lot of different people in the world, and, each person, has their own little crisis and challenges and, needs to get back into society. Well, we'll have all these very specialized organizations, and it'll be able to help every individual. Well, the problem is we've gotten too specialized, and none of the organizations talk to each other. When I'm doing case management, when I'm, working back in Los Angeles, I have two cell phones, one my own and one the agency's, and a car and a laptop, and I can't navigate the continuum of care. How can a person living in a park with no resources navigate the continuum of care? As we're driving, there's all kinds of water and people fishing, and I haven't been fishing in a couple of years. Not this next stop, Denver. I hit Wichita, and then I'm in Bentonville, Fayetteville, Arkansas, and I'm going to take a day off, and somebody's going to take me bass fishing. I'm really excited about that. But back to the continuum of care. I have a formerly homeless friend of mine. Because I often say it doesn't work. The system is broken. And he says, the system's not broken. It never worked to begin with. So we need to think smarter. Now that's what InvisiblePeople.tv does. We've done a horrible job. We've done a horrible job educating the general public about the issues of homelessness. And through the media and because of Most Exit Ramp, we see that chronic homeless man who's very visible.